Good day, and welcome to the next installment of Getting Rich. Today we're going to touch a little bit on what's going on in the markets. Over the past week, we've seen a pretty good pullback in both gold and silver, gold leading the way with silver following. We've got gold touching around $1,800 an ounce, and from where we sit, that represents a pretty interesting buying opportunity. There's significant technical resistance from 1790 to 1800, and we'll see how it reacts going into the long Thanksgiving holiday weekend in the US, where we expect thin trading, which oftentimes leads to volatility, and we'll see what we have when we come back on Monday. There's a few reasons that this is probably happening. We're seeing some positive news coming out with regards to vaccines for the COVID pandemic. You've also got some traction that we may see a conclusion to the contested presidential election. And with that, I think there are renewed hopes that we'll see some additional stimulus, even though we may as well see some additional shutdowns. Today, I want to touch on one question that was submitted since our last edition from Haltori. He basically says, I'm convinced that it's prudent to keep gold and silver in our portfolio, especially during these uncertain times of the economy and fiscal policy conditions. Just a simple question. Other than holding physical gold or silver metal, is there any other way to hold gold in terms of shares or investment products in the stock market which will mimic physical possession of gold or silver, like SLV or GLD? And thank you for your question, Haltori. I encourage everyone to send in questions. That's how we know what's on your mind. This one is actually fairly simple for me. If your goal is to mimic the gold price, then GLD and SLV are very popular options, as well as other gold and silver ETFs. The problem for me is most people don't understand what they're holding. When you own GLD or SLV, you are holding shares in a trust whose manager's job it is to mimic the gold or silver price. It's almost never 10 times the silver price for SLV. It's almost never 1/10 of the gold price for GLD. And that's because the fund manager has to manage client desires, if you will, to buy and sell, pointing and clicking, net it out and buy or sell enough gold and silver to maintain that position. But they have practical restraints with the bullion banks. So it's not easy. They have to take long and short positions as best they can. The other big issue I have with the ETFs is those are trusts. You're owning shares, you're owning no gold and no silver, although they back the shares. And the trust is very, very well protected if you dig deep into the fine print. However, the client, the shareholders are not well protected, and you introduce a bunch of counterparty risk. For me, a much better option is not to buy a pretender, but to buy the actual gold and silver. And there are some great products. We offer one of them, the Perth Mint Distributor Depository Online account, that allows you to buy as little as $50 worth of gold, silver, or platinum. Your commission is only 1% on top of the spot price that you pay. That's split between us and Perth Mint. Not a whole lot there. So you're very, very close to the price. You're owning 100% back metaled that is fully owned and in the custody of the Perth Mint. It is fully insured at all times at full market value. It is never short. It is never leased to third parties, and it's never used as backing for derivatives. Much better to move in and out if you have a trading mentality with actual gold and silver in your name than to mimic the gold price through GLD or SLV, in my opinion. So that's something to keep in mind. If that's of interest to you, just reach out and let us know. We're a phone call away at 800-831-0007, or you can send us an email and ask questions at moreinfo@assetstrategies.com. I just want to leave you with one parting thought. I know this has been a tough year, 2020, and it's easy to get wrapped up in the negatives of the pandemic and the shutdowns and everything else. But this time of year, you really want to take stock, and I don't think you have to think too long to realize that we all, sitting here, living, breathing, have something to be thankful for. In fact, we probably have many things to be thankful for. And with a grateful heart, in that vein, all of us here at Asset Strategies wish you and your families a wonderful, grateful, joyous Thanksgiving holiday. We'll see you next week. And don't forget, getting rich always starts with keeping what's yours.